Okay, so I did not expect this, but the 2026 end of summer newsletter actually is here, so I'm not gonna really talk that much. Well, I can't guarantee that, but let's just start. Let's just start. It's summer. Can summer be over? Chapter 6 released. Around a month ago, Deltarune Chapter 5 released. Did you notice? I am pleased with the response to Chapter 5. Many friends told me that they loved it, and many people cried, even cried a bit. Everyone's experience may vary, but if the game resonated deeply with a few players, I feel confident I'm moving in the right direction. Now that it's been a bit, I have a lot of info and concept art about Chapter 5 to share, so please click here to check it out. Alright, so the Chapter 5 concept art, alright, so yeah, we can clearly see this is Chapter 5's Dark World. Basically, you already know it's Toho, based off of Toho, and just kind of, I guess you could just say Japan. The hue shift one would have been really, I feel like we all would have enjoyed the hue shift one, bro, especially this, bro. And the different color, these two, since they're both, notice both of these are green and pink. Meanwhile, just the ones up here, all three of these are the same. This would be interesting, showing since how as in Asgore's flower shop, that lights could have been different colors though. The concept and the gameplay. Before it releases, I described Chapter 5 as a fun chapter. Hopefully, everyone understands what I meant by that, which is just that it is fun. Anyway, there aren't any more chapters where we focus on goofy, attention-hungry, darkener characters with the potential to win weird popularity contests. But thinking about the structure of the story, I think it was perfect, the perfect spot to do it one more time. Even though it's only been 4 chapters since Chapter 1, I wanted Chapter 5 to feel like a mix of nostalgia fun mixed with new unforeseen concepts. Music from Chapter 1 of Deltarune, characters that reference concepts from Undertale, etc. I can actually see where he's coming from when he says this. As for the new elements, this time we added a platforming system where you can jump around, attack, and act. Development started in October 2021 with on and off programming on day dev. I don't know how to say that. Creator of games such as Trust Bashers. Eventually, towards the end of Chapter 4, other members of the team were then able to take on these prototype and develop it further. See, and this is just footage from I'm guessing the concept game when they were developing it. So yeah, and yeah, basically all of this that we see up here is mainly just game design and mainly just game stuff about the new platforming system in Chapter 5. Besides platforming, another general challenge was writing a chapter that introduces 8 different characters to the main story without destroying the pacing. That's actually pretty understandable, to be honest. However, putting aside how good an idea that is in the first place, I feel like I managed to pull this off fairly well, showing off all the individual visual qualities of the different flowers without dragging the story down. Among my friends, everybody had a different favorite flower, and every flower was someone's favorite. So that's all I can hope for. Okay, and we got art right here. And this looks like, who is this? Chris? I don't really know who it is, but still. Alright. Flowery. Constantly carries a jacket over his shoulder he never wears. Bro, the fact that this is his original design though, bro. 10 years ago, everyone was misspelling flowy as flowery, and it was driving me crazy. So I thought, wouldn't it be funny if there was another golden flower character actually named Flowery? Then everyone can misspell his name as Flowery too. The golden flower, Gold, was able to become his own Mary Sue character in the form of Flowery. He's trying to be perfect, but he doesn't know anything about what it's like to really live. His interpretation of the ideal man is totally alien and over the top. He looks like a generic anime guy and is far taller than a normal human. I mean, he's a flower, so it honestly makes sense. It's probable He chose his own theme song and plays it himself somehow, which, by the way, is basically a crappy, misremembered version of only 8 seconds of the full. What the freak is this? Who's the theme song? And he must think this is awesome. You can think of the other flower characters in a similar fashion. Their designs may be strange, but that's because they had to decide who they wanted to be for themselves. I wonder what inspired each of their dreams. It's not really important, to be honest, but it's fun to think about. Hopefully none of this comes across as new information. I'm simply pointing out that about what was in the game. By the way, here's some concept art from Toku Yatabe of Studio Kara for the animation. Her early concept art for the animation determined Flowey's final outfit. And just so you can see, this is what's her name, Takabe's Twitter post for the concept art. All right, then we have the other flowers. We got Aqua. Aqua didn't have any trouble drawing her. She's obviously inspired by Toho. I mean, hey, bro, obviously, bro, the claws too, bro. Bro, did this dude Toby Fox take straight from KKH from Koichi Kamiji's heart-throbbing adventure, bro? I mean, this is obviously Koichi, bro. Last time I checked, doesn't Koichi use a knife in KKHTA? I'm pretty sure she does. By the way, the other day I talked to someone and they didn't know what Toho was, so I was like, bad apple. And they were like, I thought that was a Hatsune Miku thing. And that's not even sung by Hatsune Miku. I'm gonna be honest, they probably saw the one by Cool and Create. None of y'all, I doubt a lot of y'all are probably gonna know what I'm talking about. But Seth, the character Seth is inspired by the character named Seth from Illusion of Gaia. They are both purple, wear glasses, but they don't have any other similarities beyond that. Originally, Seth's first concept had white hair and skin that was a bit more lavender in tone, but when I showed it to my friends, they said, that's just, from Steven from Steven Universe. So I changed it. That is just Steven Universe just came out of nowhere. What the freak? Well, now that I think about it, well, actually, no, I can see what they mean. No, I can see what they mean. All right, Green's appearance is inspired by the art style of my friend Splendid Land, who's designed Hacker, Ambulance, and a couple other great guys. She didn't even know about this character until the game came out. Green, okay, green. All right, Orange. It was hard to express the joy of her expression in such a small sprite. Look at her. Anyway, it was important to have one of the characters be a mouse to make it absurdly obvious how distorted their idea of humanity is. I do like how in all this he's kind of showing how the flowers, I don't know if it's all of them or just most, but we can see that a lot of them have like a twisted idea of what they think humanity actually is, though, or what it means to be human. All right, Yellow. He had two designs. In the earlier one from October 2016, he had more of a beard and was a cool, collected guy. Then I redrew him later in January 2020. Dang, bro, this dude Toby was doing that all the way back then. He takes some inspiration from Toy Story. Hey, bro, Woody theory was true. Well, maybe not in the way we thought it was, but hey, bro, I mean, we got him. He was foreshadowed a bit in chapter 3 with some bath curtains. I think that's kind of the full extent of the intentional cowboyish foreshadowing I've done in my life. Now for Blue in game, he has a different hairstyle during his face sprite. I thought it would be fun to provide multiple possibilities for what he looks like. Alright, so this is Blue. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I definitely thought this was a girl. But hey, bro, hey. Other enemy designs. Alright, so we got Nelnal. Okay, Nelnal. Basically this dude, bro, who does the Sakuya mean. Why does that look like a Pokemon, bro? This actually looks like a Pokemon now that I think about it. Nelnal actually designed 4 enemies for this chapter. Shino Beetle, Terracotta, the Pot Archer, and the Mantis Dancer. Ultimately, only 2 of them were used in chapter 5 anyway. Hitoshi Ariga. Hitoshi Ariga is a Japanese artist who's most well known for drawing the manga Rockman Megamix. If anybody was wondering, this is it right here. Okay, he drew the Nitsuki, great musicians, Garden of Hopes and Dreams, Carlos Ein. Hard to believe it. This guy was a kid when he made his first Undertale jazz. What the frick? I'm super glad to be able to feature him in my game. Rakuichi Buster. Rakuichi, I originally featured his music in an early trailer for Deltarune, but as long as we were featuring a fancy version of Field of Hopes and Dreams, I wanted to make the battle theme fancy too. Cutie Mew Mew Magic Camilla. For this song, I arranged a demo of one of the first dozen seconds and sent that alongside a few minutes of me playing the piano and singing. I also provided a text description of each part. Camilla did all the actual work beyond that, low. Anyway, the chiptune demo I gave him was originally just the first 6 seconds of this plus the melody melody, but I added some more just now to make it worth listening to. Thanks. Okay, that was a little bit of that. Flower Man Camilla. I actually tried to create this song by myself multiple times and even tried multiple times to collaborate with different musicians to try to do a live version with vocals, but nothing turned out right with the samples I was using, so I ended up begging Commander to arrange it. Here's the earliest piano outline. And just to be clear, y'all, I'm playing this through my computer and my mic, so y'all might hear it playing on. You might hear it playing. It will sound like it's playing double times. So yeah, that was a little bit of that. I think I'm in love with Deltarune logo Ida Kahana. Didn't he collab with this woman at one point? I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. I made an outline of this song. She arranged it. Then I mixed it back together with my own instruments. Also for the logo, it was inspired by the Sailor Moon R.I. Catch. Also, the creator of Fields of Mystery, Claire, drew Pink's talking sprites and basic overworld sprites for Chapter 5. She's a great friend and she encouraged me immensely to complete Undertale, so I'm super happy I got to work with her. Okay, basic Mew sprites. I'm gonna be honest, bro. This one, honestly, never mind. You can see, I can honestly, by just judging by the first one, you can tell how this is. Didn't Usagi make a pose just like this, bro? Sailor Moon. And then we got this dude, Icy. Okay, now back to the main newsletter. What's next? Chapter 5 was a really fun chapter, and with the last big burst of craziness out of the way, I'm sure everybody is eager for Deltarune to start directly tackling the main mysteries of the game. Me too! With Chapter 5, we completed the last of the unnecessary setup for Chapter 6 and 7. 7. From Chapter 6 onward, there are no more wacky, silly adventures, and you will begin to see the results of the setup that has been made so far. Chapter 6 is a shorter, straightforward chapter that focuses on one aspect of the story. Because of that, many things are still not touched on here. In fact, it may surprise you what was missing, but one thing will be clarified whether you're ready or not. It may be a surprise what was missing. I wonder what he means by that. Some of you may say, wait, you need to make the chapters longer, not shorter. That's an extremely reasonable concern, but by the end of Chapter 7, I'm 100% sure you'll understand why I feel confident about the way I'm telling this story. Don't worry about the pacing until it's over. I'm going to be honest, bro. I don't see how people can criticize Toby Fox about a game, can criticize Toby about aspects of his game. And just be clear, not even people that worked with him. No, people can't really be criticizing him on stuff like that since he literally thought of this before Undertale, bro. Before Undertale, which was inspired by Toho. I believe we will be able to release Chapter 6 in 2027. Chapter 6 will be released by itself in case there's any question about it. Recently, I finished writing a few more sequences toward the last third of Chapter 6 and rearranging the rooms to fit the new structure. Once we make these adjustments and tie everything together, we will be able to play rough draft of the Chapter 6 chapter from beginning to end. Barring any major restructuring, the main things that will continue to need development time are the boss of the chapter and polishing cutscenes. Makes sense, makes sense. Speculation and theories. Okay, got both mics here. Personally, I really don't read or watch theories. That's because I already know what what my game is. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. However, I think it's amazing that people think about the game so much. It's not an exaggeration to say that thinking about this game can be just as much as of the experience as playing it is. It is, bro. It most definitely is, bro. If you go on other videos in my channel, it is. Anyone who keeps thinking about it like I have gets my highest blessings. I'm out of breath, bro. So imagining what could happen and trying to think about the meaning of the game is very cool. However, I do think it's important to mention sometimes you don't have all the information. That is true, though. That is true. Or I had a different expectation about how certain info would be interpreted or combined. Yeah, I can think like before, because I can tell. I think a lot of us can tell before chapter 3 or 4 came out. There was a lot of stuff we were like trying so hard to solve, but we just didn't have the information, and people really, honestly, I can see a lot of us just could not wait though. We had to like try to solve that. Anyway, while I think it's good to keep an open mind as to what will ultimately happen, I want to say that you guys should keep having as much fun as you can. The speculative art, stories, and theories that you come up with while the game is still ongoing will forever be special because this is the only time such things can ever be created. All of you are creating a time capsule unique to this single fleeting moment in time, and I think that's something to be incredibly proud of. Isn't it great that you're here right now playing this thing as it comes out? True. What's your Girona? Okay, bro, we about to get an answer. Alright. When I was younger, my older sibling would say stupid anime style made up moves, names, and then pretend to attack me. One was, "It's my Girona." Okay. Honestly, bro, that's deeply understandable. A couple other phrases are also references like that, including the unused voice clip Blingo Blizzard. We're gonna see this. Okay, was letting you hear that for a second. Also, I did want to say that the flowery line when Flowery says "smile again," that is actually a Toho reference. My sibling encouraged me to add "it's my hummingbird" as another quote to the game, but I haven't done that yet. Will I ever? Alright, just so we clear, when I said talking about "smile again," I tried to find the video, but that was actually taking a little too much time, so I'll do it later. What's Kiki? Kiki is my cat that won't shut up. She gets incredibly noisy every second you don't play with her. She watched her room on TV and didn't understand it was her. She's like if a cat brain was put into a cat's body. The song in the room is the song that I sing to her every day because I love her. It's not fan service for you, but it's a Kiki service for her, even though she doesn't like it. She's bothering me right now. Makes sense. Alright, merch. I do like how he doesn't really sell like actual. I don't know if I don't think Toby actually sells Chris, Susie, Rouse, any Lightner stuff when it comes to Deltarune though. Fangamer has released new merchandise for Chapter 5. More items are planned, as well as some items for previous chapters too, like a Queen plush or something. By the way, I told Fangamer not to expect to make too much merchandise for Chapter 6 and 7. It makes sense saying that those are mainly going to be more store focus too. Anything else? I desire and enjoy the corn. Happy summer and enjoy the corn. And I'm guessing this is I actually don't know who this is. And here were more Deltarune sites, ARG sites that were updated too. Now we have this stuff right here. Now there's a map. I'm guessing this represents cutscenes, the attacks, and then the enemies. Designs, I guess. But if we do highlight it, it says same time as 7. Now, I don't really know what this means either, just like some of the other people who covered the newsletter. I don't know if it means chapter 6 coming out is, well, no, he said 6 is coming out by itself. So I guess in the best we could say this is right now is that side B is coming with side 7. Okay, and now this one, this is the other one. If you look at it, it's foreshadow. If we highlight it, it says 2, 3, 4, 5, and since it said this is basically showing how And, oh yeah, and we see the one right there too. One right there too. If you can't see it, I'll zoom in. It's also showing how this is basically showing, I'm guessing, how like important each of the chapters were to the like overall narrative, I'd say. So since one was the beginning, it makes sense it wasn't really that prominent, at least to Toby. 2 and 3 were big. 4 was more than 1, but not really as good as 2, 3, or 5. And then 5 was more than 4, but just not as big as 2 or 3. But if we, as you can see on the side right here, we can actually scroll down. And if we keep scrolling down, we see a giant 7B. And if you can, if you're thinking how I am, bro, saying that this 7B is bigger than literally all 5 of these, that means we are getting a chapter entirely on the Snowgrave route. Okay, and this is the last site we have right now. It's basically 2 tracks playing at the same time. You can download it or play it up back if you want to. Okay, gonna play it again if you need it. And yeah, that was the new sites that were updated. All right, had to try to highlight it to make sure nothing else. But as of now, that's really all we got for right now. So yeah, you can tell I pretty much like this newsletter, and if you have any opinions, you can put that in the comments. I'm saying a lot. All right, so bye.